pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. Roll call.
Mayor Laughlin.
Here.
Councilperson Sexton.
Here.
Miller.
Here.
Dean.
Here.
Goodweiler.
Here.
Stillman.
Here.
No guest speakers tonight, correct? So public comment. If anyone wishes to address the council, we'll hear what you have to say. I don't see anybody here or on Zoom. So we'll move on to the consent agenda, which is the minutes of February 16th meeting, a liquor license for classy liquor, wine, beer, carry out Sunday sales, pretty much everything for Casey's General Store. And a motion to approve the claims. Motion, please, someone? Nick? I'll second. Jerry? Any discussion? All right, pretty simple. Go ahead, Leslie.
Councilperson Goodweiler.
Yes.
Sexton.
Yes.
Miller.
Yes.
Stillman.
Yes.
Dean.
Yes.
All right. First up, school turn lane. So I asked Marty, they tabled the 2080 agreement. We had a little discussion in the last two meetings, I think, on it. So we wanted them to give us their proposal. So I thought it would be best if we met with a couple of board members before we met at a meeting tonight, which we did. Tom and Jerry and I met with a couple of board members to discuss what their needs were, what their wants were. And we did that Saturday morning, had some pretty good discussion. I think we both agreed that, well, getting more money out of the city was going to be difficult. They seem to understand that. However, they still didn't want to go ahead with the turn lane without a little more participation. So we concluded that let's just put in a stop sign, four-way stop on Main Street in front of the new school driveway. And by default, that would create a turn lane, a stop and a turn. That's what we decided would happen. If we object to that, and I'd like to know, we would have to approve a stop sign, two stop signs. It seems to be a viable solution for the study showed that a turn lane may not even be required for 20 years. As the town grows. So, does anybody have any thoughts on that? Otherwise, we're going to be asked to approve a stop sign at some later date. Go ahead.
So during my briefing, I was told that maybe there would be a speed limit change.
Correct.
That would be what I'd want to discuss.
We talked about reducing the speed from 35 to 25, probably the entire Main Street. From the roundabout, potentially new roundabout, all the way into town.
Are there rules about having a four-way stop if it remains 35 miles an hour? I mean, there's like weird traffic rules, I know.
I would say no, because I know stop signs out in the country where you're going from 55 to
Okay.
a stop.
So then that being said, I think I would like the idea better of making a school zone there with the flashing light
We talked about
that it goes from, so it's only 25 during school
We talked about
times.
that. We just didn't get to any details of it.
Yeah.
Talk about the flashing stop sign that's got the lights flashing around it.
We did talk about a celebrated stop sign that was very visible. I think the school zone is certainly a good idea.
I don't know if that's not a school zone already. It should be 25.
It's not marked that
It's not
way.
marked, but it should be, shouldn't it? Okay, so is that a solution to everyone? I mean, save everybody some money, at least for a while. And maybe a turn lane won't be needed. Maybe there won't be a problem.
Discussion was that this might give us a little time, get the roundabout in, get the school out there, get the middle school out there, see what actually is going to happen.
It'll be 2 years.
Yeah.
Before it's fully functional, fully operational, probably.
My thought with the speed limit was that if you're coming from the west, if we get the roundabout, you're going to be slowing down at the roundabout anyway. If we threw a stop sign in there, it doesn't make a lot of sense to speed back up to slow way down for a stop sign. And if you're going west, the 35 mile an hour is not far away from that intersection now. So why would we increase it and then have to stop right away? So my thought was just turn it all 25 mile an hour. Be done with it.
What do you think, Jody?
Sure. The only problem I might see happening is the driveways are so close together that if you make that one stop coming east, then the people aren't gonna get turned in with the stuff. That's why I still don't see why they don't make the people going east turn into the first drive and those coming west. But that's their thing. So
That is, we chatted about that, and that's their ideal, I suppose, of how it would pan out. People from the west would turn into the first driveway.
no, that's their deal. So
Okay, maybe that ends this discussion for a while.
We did discuss leaving this as is, though, that in the future we could return to this and have the same, virtually the same agreement.
So our resolution stays alive until it's rescinded, correct? Yes. It stays alive until the money is spent or we rescind it. So I think we would just keep it in our budget for the next fiscal budget also, and maybe at some point, I don't know how long it can stay out there, but I'm hoping it can just stay as a valid offer for a few years anyway.
Well, I guess that would be one of my things I would have. Why would we keep that money pigeonholed for something that may not happen?
We may not.
I mean, we spend everything we got now.
Just as a good faith gesture to them, hey, if you want to do the turn lane, and if the school wants to go ahead with it and accept the 2080 agreement, here's the money. It's still our money. It's there for you. That's my only reason for keeping it on board. Pretty much a good faith gesture.
Well, I think part of it was we didn't want to get stuck with the whole turning lane if we,
Yeah, if it drags out too long, I don't know who's, 20 years from now, it may be all on the city. Okay. End of chat for a while on that subject. All right. Item 2 is resolution 1981, accepting the city administrator's recommended budget and ordering a notice of hearing for March 15th to adopt the 2021-22 budget. Give me a motion, someone.
So moved.
Bolton,
Second.
Tom? Okay. Bottom line is what, 8.2? Or what's the best sheet to look at here for a summary?
The first one.
First one?
Our public notice, excuse me, yeah.
7.9 million budget. Is that what we're looking at?
Yeah.
Line 28.
28.
Yeah, total expenditures. Anything you want to explain, Redmond, or what? Any questions?
Basically, we got our same tax rate. We've been able to maintain that for the first time. I think it's significant this year. It's the first year we're able to put some money into our cash reserves for capital improvement levy. So that was something that the voters passed, I think, 2 years ago. But the first year, keeping in tone with what we had promised, we would only use that to close the gap between our debt service that we're continuing to pay down and backfilling, if you will, with the capital improvement levy, so that when we do something with those dollars, it will be a lot cheaper for financing, so we won't have to take out bonds and pay financial advisors and bond counsels and all those expenses, and have a little bit more control over where we spend those dollars. So I think all we really need to do is have our capital improvement plan updated, so it'd be something that's much more in our topic, because we'll actually have some funds that will be dictated on what's in that plan for us to be able to access. So that's a pretty significant thing. And then the other things that we've came out of our goal setting, we're able to do without raising tax rates.
So we've included a lot of projects. East side water main repairs, street repairs on the east side, but that does not include our 5-year potential plan for the east side water main improvement, correct?
Yeah, so we're still
Freedom.
working on our capital improvement plan. I'm filling in those numbers. Last time we talked, council wanted to take a more aggressive approach than a 5-year model, so we've been looking at squeezing that down to 3, if not shorter. So Matt and I are still working, and we also have to get some numbers from D&K to help us sharpen their pencils.
Yeah. So this resolution is to accept this budget. We will have a public hearing on March 15th, the next meeting. And after that public hearing, we would officially adopt the budget and send it to the state. Correct?
Right. county, but yes, we go
County.
county.
Okay. Relatively pain-free.
So I'm confused.
Go ahead. What's your
How
question?
mu- So, how much revenue did it, was our increase for this next year or whatever?
Increase in revenue
Yes.
from,
Well, the
Property
revenue this
tax.
coming year is 8,417,000 with transfer.
473,000?
8,417,000. That's revenue and transfers.
Okay, and what was it last year then?
I
I wanna know the increase. What,
will look and see what it was.
because some of our departments took a pretty good increase.
I thought it was $100 and some $1,000 increase we got from property tax revenue.
Revenues last year were 8,417,000. Well, no, that's just the same one. What I had last year.
In dollars, you're right, Roger. I was looking for the max levy sheet, which is an illustration of, I think it was 526, which was an increase from our assessed value.
That's just the levy. That's not the total revenue. Total revenue is much larger than the levy.
I was gonna say it'd have to be.
110,000, I thought. That neighborhood.
Yeah, that's better.
I don't know why I think that.
That's what we use to budget those goal setting items. I don't know if it's quite 100, it's a little bit.
Yeah, you're right.
So our 810 brought in 110,000 more this year than it did last year. Is that what we're saying?
Wow, yeah.
How much of that how much of that are we giving back?
We're using it all. You mean for the $5,000?
Mm-hmm.
That's a
About
very
60
good question. I
about
don't know.
60,000.
I increased the budget from 48,000 to 55,000 for building incentive. And I'm hoping that's enough, but I really don't know.
So even that 110,000 number is kind of skewed, isn't it?
Could be. Yeah. Because we're given, I thought it was closer to 60,000 we were giving back. But.
I don't know what it's going to be, honestly.
That's interesting. You know what it was last year, Gordon?
I budgeted 45,000, but we're at 38,000, 36,000 for the first 6 months. So it could be higher, but some people actually reached their limits last year when they made the fall payment.
So, okay. So this year, I'm gonna use the fire department, okay? This year, the fire department was 142,409, right?
What page you want to go?
I don't know. 40.
Yeah, that's where I'm at.
If you go all the way, it says actual 2020.
40?
So, and then re-estimated 2021. So that's $150,000 increase right there. Is that their set aside, their fire truck set aside added into that? Or was their budget actually increased by 150,000?
I'm not sure what you're looking at, Judy. I have a budget for the fire operation, general fund, 259,000 for next year.
When he came in here and proposed his budget, it was like the same or Thousand.
It was maybe $6,000 higher.
Yeah.
It was not much different.
yeah, it was
But
like,
we have a
What's this then?
$253,000 budget this year, and next year we'll have a $259,000 for the fire department.
that's $100,000 more.
No,
6,000.
253,000 versus 259.
Oh, okay. I thought you said 159.
Sorry.
Which is just what Kevin said.
Again,
Yeah.
I'm looking at these. No,
I'm looking at it sideways.
I'm looking at
I'm
it
looking-
sideways. I don't even look at it
Sideways.
Sometimes I don't even look at it. If they're
Yeah.
sideways, it's really hard. You
There's
turn
no way
it
to
sideways
flip
and it
them.
goes sideways
Yep.
again.
When you look at the state reports, if you look at multiple columns, they have general fund, special revenues for the fringe benefit portion. So I'm just talking about the fire operation, not including any
That's
benefit.
what I want. I want
The total,
just police, I want just fire,
well,
just,
this year, our budget for the police, for the fire department, for general fund, for insurance and fringe benefits was 296,000. Next year, we're budgeting for the same items, 289,000, about 7,000 less.
that's the
Basically, that's
police department?
for the fire.
Hmm.
That's mostly due to insurance.
But yet, township evaluations went up, so why is their budget going down? Is the city not kicking in as much?
No, we're 110,000.
He said it was mainly because of the insurance going down.
What? Nothing. I just wanted to see, like we did last year, each department, every year we change. Why? I get used to one thing and then we change it.
Well, we had those.
Because right now, I don't know who's getting what, and it's kind of hard to vote on something when you don't know.
We had that a couple of months ago, though. We went through that. When Kevin came in and gave his presentation and Cole.
Right, they presented their budget, that doesn't mean that's what they want, they're gonna get. If that's the case, then they should be coming in here asking for 400,000 each time. If they're gonna get what they want.
They were all within reason of what was reasonable.
And hopefully, I mean, I don't know what the process is, but hopefully some of that's been vetted before it comes to us, and so, the administrator and Gordon, they know where it's at. So, they're coming in here and telling us what it needs to be and what we can afford. They're not giving us a wish list and dreams. I mean, they do that and we usually go, nah, so.
I think it's all been very reasonable and upfront. When we had the presentations, I thought it was pretty clear from Chief of Police and Fire Chief, Melissa and Matt.
And Joey, at this point, you're just accepting it. The actual vote's not for 2 weeks, so you.
I guess that's what I was expecting, but it is what it is. I mean, I'm not gonna change it, so. I'm gonna vote on something I don't understand right now, so.
You can certainly come in and we can walk you through some of the details if that's what you want.
Okay, so we have a resolution and a motion to accept this budget. Any more discussion? Okay, let's go ahead, Leslie.
Councilperson Miller,
Yes.
Dean,
Yes.
Stulman,
Yep.
Sexton,
Yes.
Goodweiler.
Yes. This next topic, Redna, I need a little clarity because we have a public hearing now. And we'll have a resolution, but inside that resolution is another public hearing
Yes, so,
for next time on the same subject.
right, let me to clarify on that a little bit. So we set a public hearing initially. The bond council likes to have the public hearing in the form of a resolution. We set it in the form of a motion. And they also like to have their public hearing use specific language, which was different than their original language. So they instructed, since we already put it out there, let's use it kind of like a discussion item. And then the resolution, the way that they like it, is actually the next item. Which will then set a public hearing again for March 15th, which at that time we will actually approve the financing. And basically that would be everything they need to close on the 2nd of April.
So we're gonna have a public hearing and then we'll have another resolution to set the same public hearing next time. Correct?
Correct.
Okay,
That's the public hearing they like.
let's get this. Is anyone here to discuss this is a public hearing now, resolution. We discuss the state revolving fund for the planning and design loan for our wastewater treatment system. Anyone? Hearing none, we'll close the public hearing and move on to item 4, which is resolution 1982, which is a resolution to fix a date for a public hearing on a proposal to enter a sewer revenue loan and disbursement agreement and to borrow money thereunder under a principal amount not to exceed $619,000. This is for the design of the wastewater treatment. So I need a motion to accept the resolution to fix a date for public hearing. This is so fun.
Second.
Jerry and Colton. Any clarity, anyone? Discussion? Go ahead.
Councilperson Sexton,
Yes.
Miller,
Yes.
Dean,
Yes.
Goodweiler,
Yes.
Stulman.
Yes. All right, summer's coming, we're gonna talk about swimming pools. Second reading of ordinance 780, amending chapter 165, entitled zoning regulations regarding adding section 50, which pertains to swimming pools to the West Branch zoning ordinance. Give me a motion somewhere.
So moved.
Colton. Tom. All right, second reading. What did we change this time?
If you see the text highlighted in
Where is
green,
that?
under the definition temporary,
There it is.
the definition was added to, it says temporary pools with a depth of 24 inches or less are exempt from this subsection.
Perfect. Perfect. Any other?
I have one question.
Go ahead.
I meant to ask last time, but forgot. And maybe it's in the rest of the section or not, but what happens if this is violated?
Huh.
Anywhere close?
Yeah. Is it like, hey, take that down?
You can make them take it
No
down.
thanks. Or,
You can issue civil infraction for
Doesn't, I didn't know if we had to have that written in there
Nope,
or if it's
in
just.
in chapter 2, it says any violation,
Okay.
any violation of an ordinance can be filed as a civil infraction or a criminal act. Criminal.
I just didn't know if we needed to set like a
Nope.
number.
No,
Okay. I just wanted to ask and make sure. I don't
Yeah.
think we're gonna have a lot, but I always like to ask
Yeah.
before we.
Otherwise, there'd be a violation.
Yeah, otherwise we
Every
pass something
ordinance.
with no teeth, I guess.
we give them a notice of violation, give them 30 days.
You said
whatever
or
to fix
criminal
it.
violation?
Yeah. No, I
So
never-
you're gonna be in jail and they're gonna say, what are you here for? My pool's too close to the road.
I got a-
Don't lock me up.
I got a barking dog that go to jail once, so.
I just wanted to ask
Yeah.
before we
That's why
pass
we
it.
use civil
and-
infractions.
Okay. We gotta ask before we pass something. and-
Good question. Any other? Go ahead, Leslie.
Councilperson Miller,
Yes.
Dean,
Yes.
Goodweiler,
Yes.
Stulman,
Yeah.
Sexton.
Yes.
All right. Item 6 is a motion to accept the report of bids by Beaster and Trim regarding the I-80 water main
30 days.
relocation project. So did someone just motion that?
I will.
I'll second.
This isn't a resolution then, is it? So I got a motion, Nick, and Jerry was the second. Looks like we have a low bidder of, boy, there's a lot of bidders. $189,764. Summers Enterprise out of Masonville.
There'd be a lot of work out there.
How far is Masonville?
I'm going to the same thing.
I don't know. Is this accepting this bid then?
Must be a ways because they're got $35,000 in mobilization compared to everybody else.
Interesting.
10,000.
Dave online, I can't see.
Yes, I am.
Dave, you want to give a quick report on that?
Sure. So we took bids just over 2 weeks ago, February 10th, and had 12 bidders respond. The prices range from $189,764 all the way up to $352,330. So a pretty good range. And this is for the installation of water main. It's generally behind the industrial park over by McDonald's. That has to be relocated to allow for widening of Interstate 80. We have it in a private easement currently, which is why DOT is going to reimburse us to move it. The low bidder, Summers Enterprise, provided 2 references for me. I contacted both of those references and they were favorable. So looking to move to the next item, and that would be to accept the bids, Roger.
So by Manchester.
So this motion to accept is the official acceptance. then.
It'll be, number
I thought
7
it
is
had to
the
be a
official.
resolution.
7 is the.
One's
official.
awarding and one's just accepting the bid.
Oh, there it is.
This is to accept the
All
bid.
right.
This is being paid back by the
I'm paying attention.
DOT, right?
Yes.
Okay, let's
So
vote,
do you have to take low bids? I'm just asking.
pretty much,
You have to.
unless they're irresponsible.
I have a quick question for you, Dave.
Yes.
Some of these numbers,
Mhm.
are they all using the same material?
I was gonna say, if we say, if we say Summers Enterprise is bad.
Yeah, if you look at the bid tabulation, you'll see there's a little bit of a difference in the different unit prices. They are all using the same material. It's just a matter of some people will put the money up in the mobilization and try to get a little bit of that up front, which is what Summers is looking at. And then they'll have a less expensive cost per foot for the water main installation, but they are required to put the full amount in. So at the end, it all works out. It's just a matter of how they want to get paid for certain items. They're not supposed to offset the bid too drastically, but there's a little bit of that goes on, and that's why every bidder has a different number.
Well, pretty drastic. Problem to have later is if we have a change order, we need to add them, they have to stick to their price on here. So they can get themselves in the world of hurt if their bid price is too low down there. Because we have the right to tell them to do more or less, and that's what they get.
All right, we got a motion and a second to accept the bids. Let's go ahead, Leslie.
Councilperson Goodweiler?
Yes.
Sexton?
Yes.
Miller?
Yes.
Stulman?
Yes.
Dean?
Yes.
So item 7 is resolution 1983, a resolution accepting the lowest responsible bid and authorizing the award of the contract to Summers Enterprise for the Interstate 80 relocation, water main relocation project in the amount not to exceed $189,764. Motion, please, someone?
Motion.
Jerry and Nick.
So even with change orders, it can't exceed that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it can, as long as we approve a change order.
They'll have to come back to us.
You're digging a
Then
hole.
why don't we just keep it local?
You have to follow the bid rules that you can't,
Or not private.
you can't,
That's my question.
Okay, did I get a motion? Yeah, Jerry and Nick. Go ahead, Leslie.
Councilperson Sexton?
Yes.
Goodweiler?
Yes.
Dean?
Yes.
Miller?
Yes.
Stulman?
Okay, fireworks. Resolution 1984. Approving fireworks agreement with J&M Displays for the Hoover Hometown Days in the first weekend of August of 2021. Is there a motion? Nick?
Almost.
Someone?
I'll second.
Jerry?
Is this the same company we've been using?
Yeah. We're doing it for 40,000. Last couple of years been 25,000.
1 year.
Seems to be just the 1 year.
We didn't do them last year.
All right. I think it's a pretty good deal. Is this the only one that's this resolution then?
Yep.
We got
Just
others
add
coming
along.
up, right?
Are they still in there? Is she in my pocket?
Go ahead.
Councilperson Goodweiler?
Yes.
Sexton?
Yes.
Stulman?
Yeah.
Dean?
Yes.
Miller?
Yes.
All right. Ooh, final one. Resolution 1985, approving various contracts with Coralville Community Showcase stage rental in Iowa Brass for the Hoover's Hometown Days celebration in the amount of $4,625. Motion, someone?
So moved.
Give me a second, Tom. Okay,
I got a question.
go ahead.
Pete?
Yeah.
Since we didn't have Celebration in the Park last year, will we be able to have it this year?
sure.
We are tentatively scheduled to open at the end of the month, the park. So as long as the numbers stay where they're at today, we're expecting to open up at the end of the month. So I expect we'll be as normal as we can be in August, which would allow the event to continue. So we're planning on having the event.
I know you said that Black Hills and West Branch were the only two national parks to have it.
Yeah.
If we didn't have it, we didn't know we'd ever get it back.
Yeah, it's once the fireworks stop happening, it becomes a lot more difficult to bring it back. We've been kind of grandfathered in. There's a lot of reviews, a lot of things that Leslie has to jump through, hoops that she's jumping through now to keep that happening. And thankfully we're doing it early this year, so that gives us a little more time to get some of that hoop jumping done. So a lot of eyes are looking at these fireworks contracts now.
Good, thank you.
Okay, this particular resolution is stage rental and brass band. Where am I? Any other discussion?
Where's the stage going?
In front of the Hoover Library to the east. East of the library. I recognize, the court recognizes Pete.
Typically, the stage would go on the east side of the library, but the committee, and Melissa's online here, so the committee's still discussing the location for it. It might move to a different location in the park still. That would allow for a little bit greater social distancing. So, we get about 700 or 800 people typically by the time 9 o'clock shows up. And that amount of people on the east side of the library is pretty congested. So we're looking at potentially moving it to the Loop Road or something where it would be a little more broadcast over a bigger area. So that decision has not been made by the committee yet, though.
Thank you. Any other comments, questions?
I think it'd be cool if it moved back in the loop.
I like it in there.
I'm in favor of it moving back into the loop.
There's some logistics that we have to deal with in the fire department, as you know, when it was back there. The fire department was pretty instrumental in lighting the area up for us. So there's some things we'd have to work through that could be done to make it safer.
Anybody else? Go ahead, Leslie.
Councilperson Miller,
Yes.
Dean,
Yes.
Goodweiler,
Yes.
Sexton,
Yes.
Stulman.
Okay, item 10 is update discussion on the Park and Rec programs. I guess that puts Melissa front and center.
Yep, that's me. I don't know how to change my picture back. I'm sorry. I want to be back at the beach picture, but so I kind of gave an update about where we're at for Parks and Rec and the activities that are opening up. And I put a newsletter attached. I don't know if it ever got attached or not. Just I wanted to give a brief little update about activities. We've opened up registration for summer ball programs. It used to be Summer League, as most of you remember it now. So that's ball programs preschool through 4th grade for boys and preschool through 6th grade for girls. That'll start in May, but the registrations are open now. We're planning to do Youth Sports Foundation 5th and 6th grade track this season. Remember, all of these plans are just really fluid. If things turned out to be not safe, then of course we shut them down and refund all participants. Those practices will start April 5th. And then we're doing Girls on the Run again this spring. We did that in the fall and we were pretty successful. It's a program we run with the school and volunteers. And registration's open for that, and hopefully that we'll have another good season. Some other kind of staple activities we've done are the Easter egg hunt, and we've thought long and hard as a commission, and I've done a lot of research on this. So we're planning to have the Easter egg hunt, but it's going to look very, very different and very modified. We're actually taking reservation times. We'll do it at Cubby Park, and we'll have a limited number of participants on the field at one time, and they'll need to be socially distanced. I have right now about 45 families already signed up for that. So it's, from my end, it's going to be kind of a logistic struggle to get them all in the correct slots, but it'll be safer for sure for this year. And then hopefully next year we'll be able to go back to a more traditional egg hunt. Last year, since we couldn't do the Easter egg hunt, we did a Easter basket drop off instead with the Easter bunny. And we're doing that again. We're taking registrations for that. That's a paid program this year, $10 a basket. We load them pretty good and the Easter bunny will stop by your house and drop off the baskets. So that's going pretty well too. I think there's about 25 kids participating in that so far. So that's a good number. We have a couple of other activities we're working on for summer. In the previous years, we've done a drop-in program at the parks. We have a couple of times a week, and we have families, daycares, kids can drop in. We have a lot of different activities for them to do. Numbers can get pretty large. So this year, instead of that, to keep things a little under control, we're going to try a mobile rec program where people can sign up, and we will come to their neighborhoods and do activities outside, whether it be a daycare or a neighborhood wants to sign up for it, families, however, and we'll bring the activities to them as long as the weather is permitting to stay outside. We're going back and we're doing swim lessons in Tipton again. We'll have to, those will be the first couple of weeks in June. Tipton's been doing swimming lessons throughout the winter, so they have their protocols in place. And in regards to the bus ride, we'll follow all the school protocols, including distancing on the bus and mask wearing. We just need to keep all those things safe as we can be. Summer camps are still undetermined. Anything we do, we'll want to do them outside, but I need to see if I have enough staff, we can definitely make it work. But if I don't get more staff in place, then we're going to have to put a hold on that. And that's a safety thing, not that our numbers were ever too large. It's just that we need to be able to have backup staff in case somebody's ill. Let's see, what else do we have going on? Cubby Park updates real quick. We have the concession stand. We're working on the finalizing of it has to be licensed as a food establishment, which I know is really crazy. And I think that's nuts to sell hot dogs, but that is one thing that the state requires for concession stands. So we'll have that inspection in the beginning of April. And then we'll be able to open April 16th for the first tournament. Let's see, we have still some dates available for weekend tournaments. It looks like right now, if we had no weather issues and didn't have to cancel any, we have about $3,000 generated this spring and June, this fiscal year for tournaments. But I expect fully that the weather is not going to cooperate for all of them. I think that's kind of it right now. It's a lot, I know, but we're going to start slowly opening some things and taking it as safe as we can. It's always the priority. Any questions?
I know you worked hard on the Easter thing last year because you kind of had to make it up.
Yeah.
And you did. Looked great online, I saw.
Yeah.
Looks like you're going to do that again. And I know it's not easy, so thanks for working so hard.
Yeah.
On that particular
Thanks
thing.
for being creative for the whole year.
It's been a struggle and everything. Everybody is feeling the same way. All departments, it's a lot more time consuming, and there's a lot of little factors you have to think about. We never thought we'd have to think about, but we do. And we always have to be fluid in our programming too, because, in 5 minutes I could get a call that we have to shut something down. So we just, yeah.
All right. Okay. Thank you, Melissa. Good report. All right. Last item. Resolution 1986 is approving a service agreement for snow removal services and intrusion alarm police response services with the United States Department of the Interior, the National Park Service, and the Herbert Hoover National Historic Site. Motion moved. Someone, Colton? Nick? Okay. Same snow removal as last year, plus this includes the intrusion alarm response, which I don't know if we had that last year or not. Right.
This would be a new
Right.
piece to our agreement, but we've always provided that service. Now we're finally just kind of putting attention to it and
That's the reason for the nearly $2,000 increase. Thank you, Pete.
What was the amount last year?
6,000 just for snow plowing. There was no police service then.
Pete found a pigeonhole for us. Got a motion and a second. Any comments? Go ahead, Leslie.
Councilperson Miller,
Yes.
Goodweiler,
Yes.
Stulman,
Yes.
Dean,
Yes.
Sexton.
Yes.
All right. City Administrator report, Redmond.
I'll be real brief on a couple items I do want to talk about. One is our wastewater treatment process. So we are obviously moving forward with planning and design with the approval that you have tonight. But we're also getting prepped to have conversations with West Branch Villages. We are checking into CDBG Community Development Block Grant opportunities, and we believe that ECIA's walked other communities through that process. So we've been starting conversations with them on if this is going to be a possibility that we can offer that to that connection project that we foresee is going to need to happen. The other item I want to make sure, just to kind of keep the council abreast of, there was a meeting last week with the developers with Parkside. Although they're still in the preliminary plat stage, they've been running into some unforeseen infrastructure expenses. And we anticipate that it's a potential that they might seek some TIF incentive due to the unforeseen infrastructure costs. We have not received any kind of formal request for that, but I just wanted to kind of put that in everybody's mind that that might be something that comes to the head sometime in the future. I think everything else is pretty much standard, just follow-ups on the items that we got going. So I believe that's it, unless there's any questions.
Peter Johnson roundabout, where are we on that?
So right now, Dave is still kind of going back and forth with their county engineer. There's some portions that we believe should be on their side of the contract, smaller pieces of the overall construction project, and that basically plays a role in who's going to pay for what. So there's a little haggling, if you will, between that. I think once that gets settled, then we can then move forward with the 28-year agreement, and that's when the council will probably be back before you, looking at those details.
Does the 28 agreement have to be in place before they can let the bids or go out for bid?
I am not sure on that. I would tend to say yes, but since this kind of design piece is kind of moving forward, I don't know if they have to actually have to have that from us. Dave, do you know on that?
They had asked us for a verbal approval to proceed with design so as not to hold up the schedule. We are still working on some of these details.
We gave them that verbal approval.
Yeah, we did.
I remember.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't remember that.
Yeah.
We. All right, anything else,
You're
Redmond?
messing me. I think that's it.
Attorney Olson. Any staff? Staff, anyone?
Mayor, I do have one item that I wanted to update council on.
Okay, go ahead.
As part of the creek widening, we are looking at trying to pursue some additional funding through other sources following our meeting with the NRCS folks a couple weeks ago. I did reach out to Charlie Segrin with USGS to see if they would possibly be interested in assisting us in updating the model and preparing a comprehensive model that would also include the National Park Service offline storage basin and their channel improvements, so that we could look at this area with all improvements modeled in place. Previously, they did not include the off-channel storage because it was in design phase and they didn't know for sure whether that was going to move forward. So the model did not include that. We would like to have all of that brought in and then also update the model as we go through projects and try to secure additional funding upstream. In talking with the NRCS folks, it seemed that if we could have good up-to-date information, that seemed to be in our favor when pursuing grant opportunities. So Charlie has at least reached out to his staff to find out if that would be possible, and they've agreed that they might be able to secure some funding to help with the cost, but there would still be a cost share with the city. And we could also see if maybe we could go to Pete and see if his folks would be interested in doing that. I just wanted to put that out there for thought, and we could possibly take action on that at the next meeting if I can get rough numbers from Charlie.
Yeah, we'll want to know how much that might cost, where the money would come from. Stormwater fund, I imagine, and how much that would be. I hope it wouldn't be a whole lot.
How much input and support are we getting from our watershed coalition friends that we give money to every year?
We give them, you mean the Cedar River, Lower Cedar River?
There you go.
We give them $500 a year.
They're developing a grant for us right now.
Are they? Are they participating in this?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We met with, what's her name, last summer?
Mary
Well,
Beth?
I'm not sure we're gonna. Dave, help me out here. That Zoom meeting we had with Mary Beth and I can't remember his name.
Right, that was the WFPO program, and they've indicated that they don't have the resources available to take on our project this year.
Not in the near future, that was right.
But they felt that it was a very high-ranking candidate. They felt this project was pretty much ideal for what they were looking to do. It's just that they don't have the availability to take it on right away. So they're looking at trying to get us in touch with a few other organizations that would potentially be able to fund the near-term improvements. And we could go back to them maybe in a year or two and see if they're available to assist with the upstream flood protection improvements, the basins, and some other practices in the agricultural areas.
Yeah, and Mary Beth forwarded me a name of a person, I can't remember who it was, that we need to contact, probably myself, to schedule a face-to-face to talk about our upstream projects. Not just our projects, but maybe farm-related waterway projects that would help us out also. And that would be through NRCS, I believe. There's so many acronyms, I have a hard time following. How do you keep up, Pete? I don't know how you do that. It's still floating out there, Colton. There's still potential out there. Okay, anybody else? Motion to adjourn. Oh,
So moved.
us? Hang on, anybody? I got nothing. Motion to adjourn?
So move.
Jerry, second. All those in favor say aye.
I'll beat you one of these.